Hello, I'm Rafa Sardina. I'm here at the NAMM show with the guys from JC Microphones, good friends. I'm actually at this moment doing a big array of different projects in every genre of music. I just finished the Placido Domingo Songs album with lots of collaborations. Worked this year with lots of different people, from Celine Dion to Harry Connick Jr. to, I don't know, many people this year. It has been quite a busy year. Claire Fisher, big band. I've been involved with a couple of different movies. The Johnny Depp movie, The Ram Diary, some other musical movies that I'm producing right now, and doing a lot of the usual, pop, rock stuff that I've been known for, and some R&B stuff too. Of the line of JC microphones, actually I do use a lot of them, a lot. I have my preferences for specific things, but obviously it all depends on when I am approaching that, when I am recording I'm doing that kind of recording. Like, for example, I really love the 67s, the V67s on the piano. For example, the core of the tone that it has, and I use them a lot when I get to record piano. And when I want like a more of a cleaner kind of sound, I use the V12. So it all depends a lot. I use also a lot the black holes when I get to do MS stuff, because I'm a big fan of some stereo techniques like the MS and the Bloom lane, the dual figure eight, recording, things like that. So it all depends on the application, obviously. But the ones that I end up using a lot, especially when I do vocals, is the three microphones in the line of the V67, the V47, and the V12, and the new 11. I really love. And the one thing that should be noted is that it's an extremely amazing microphone for such a price range. It's one of those things that you don't encounter these days. Obviously, there are microphones that you find cheaply, that are done in markets where they can do it very affordably, but they're really lacking craftsmanship usually, and you can tell the difference with the JC microphones. You can tell the craftsmanship is there from every part. They simply are like very sturdy and very well put together microphones, and the quality control that they have really shows when you use the microphones. JC microphones has become a big part of my sound, and it is because I started using them, and then as I develop a relationship with the product itself, I started finding more uses for it. And that's usually how I work, because I don't truly need to have one more toy in my collection. I do own a really great vintage microphone collection. I have almost I won't say everything that has been made, but most of the classics that have been made throughout history. And JC microphones have filled the gap and have really, found a place in my collection. These days, especially these days, now that the economy is not as it used to be, everybody is looking for more affordable solutions. It really makes sense to be part of, to really check out the JC microphones, because they really offer this very well priced, high quality solution. And I can tell this because I continually, I still do to this day, I'm always testing new microphones, checking new microphones, and when I do so, I don't just test it for a couple of days. Like, to me, that's not a true test, because it takes time to really understand how a microphone can feel, in your workflow and in the kind of recordings that you do. Because one day, especially for me, that I'm very eclectic with the kind of projects I record, and one day I'm recording a big band, the following day I'm doing an R&B project or mixing a dance track, so I'm used to the diversity and where everything, belongs in terms of where you can apply the technology for different outcomes, for different products. And that's why usually when I test any product, I like to have it for a while. Even if I decide not to keep it at the end. But I like to have it for at least 3 months, 6 months, so I have an opportunity to test on many different kinds of things. And actually that was my case even with JC microphones when I started checking them out. And obviously you always get emails and people asking you, so what do you think, or what are your comments, what do you think is the forte, or what are your suggestions about doing something else? And usually it takes me a while because I really want to test it thoroughly. And saying this, I have to say that JC microphones stick to this high standard of quality, and you can tell because they never break. It's one of the things that I really appreciate about the product. It's not just a great sounding product, but it's a very well built and long lasting product. You can tell that even from the way it feels in your hand when you grab it. You can tell when something is going to last, and effectively it's the case. The great with choosing the right microphones for the job is that they do the job. It does the job for you. Some people say that's 50% of the battle. I won't say it's 50% of the battle, especially when you're obviously with microphone technology. We're not talking about any other kind of piece of gear that you use on a mix or something. But with microphone technology, it doesn't do 50% of the job. It really fulfills and does 90% of the job. And obviously, at that point, when you start with the right tool, the 10%, the extra 10% is you using it correctly, or even squeezing more from the product, finding more, using your microphone techniques to even find better uses for the product. But other than that, yeah, I'm glad I have this relationship with JC because they truly do a great product.